The actress who is loved by many, Zhao Lusi, left the world in shock when she shared a tragic story about her past. She said she had gone through a horrible ordeal that left her both physically and emotionally paralyzed. This got her fans to rally around her, offering endless support and sympathy. However, everything has gone in a new direction. New evidence has come to light that could make it clear her story is not hers. Her manager has even stepped out and said she faked everything: the injuries, the pain she spoke of, and the way the event happened. But the manager says she was staging everything for the benefit of attention and sympathy, that the so-called incident took place years earlier than she informed everyone. So, the question posed is, could China's media darling Zhao Lusi have made up such a lulling, heartbreaking story? What if everything we thought we knew about her wasn't about her at all, but merely part of an elaborate lie? When Zhao Lusi broke the news to her fans, it wrecked them. Now, even the beating she claimed to have suffered so grievously that she became paralyzed is being questioned. The one person who beat her, her manager, has come forward with shocking allegations. He says it's all fake. The injuries, exaggerated, the pain, made up. The beating wasn't severe enough to do lasting damage, he says, and he has evidence to prove it. But wait, it gets stranger. If this incident happened, then why did it take Zhao Lusi 2 whole years to speak out? The question on everyone's lips, and the question leaving people divided. Social media exploded. Others are calling her out for wanting attention, saying she's just looking for attention. But the doubt is spreading like wildfire, and others defend her. And here's where it gets messy. He isn't just accusing, he is showing proof. Videos, photos, and even witnesses say they saw Lusi fine after the alleged beating. There's one clip of her loping confidently around the set, laughing as if nothing had happened. Another picture shows her at an event smiling for the cameras. The manager's case is clear. She was paralyzed. How could she do all this? For the timeline, let's not forget. Lusi's claims don't match up. But the beating happened years before she ever mentioned it publicly, the manager said. Why didn't she say anything there? Why now? They're ripping her story apart piece by piece with these questions. At first blush, the manager's allegations are airtight. All point to him in reports, timelines, and statements. He is being taken seriously. The internet is buzzing. And could Zhao Lusi fake such a tragic story? The so-called evidence, well, it's convincing to be honest, it's hard to imagine. And just when you think the story can't get more complicated, it does. Because while the manager seems to hold all the cards, there's another side to this story. One that hasn't been told yet. What if Zhao Lusi isn't lying? What if everything the manager said is part of a bigger cover-up? Could the woman everyone thought was faking it be telling the truth? At first, it seemed like the manager had the perfect story. Everything he said made sense, or so we thought. But as the dust settled, cracks started to appear in his claims. Something didn't add up. How could you explain the medical reports if the beating wasn't too severe? Injuries were consistent with a prolonged and violent attack, reports said. Bruises, fractures, signs of trauma you couldn't have faked. Soon came witnesses. They described what they saw, one by one. The 2-hour shouting, chaos, and violent incident. 2 hours of pure terror. What is the most shocking evidence of all? Those leaked wheelchair photos went viral. Zhao Lusi, once vibrant, now struggling to walk. Could this be the same woman her agency claimed was only exaggerating her condition? Nevertheless, the manager's story still seemed convincing. It was so surprising that the public adored someone so deeply, and yet was hiding such a dark truth. Until, what if all the things we thought we knew about truth are all wrong? We learned something far darker because, as more details began to come out, we realized this was far more sinister. Zhao Lusi couldn't speak or walk on December 18th and was rushed to the hospital. Extreme overwork, depression, and possibly aphasia, a condition that makes it difficult to communicate, were reported. They said she would take a break from her schedule and was receiving medical care. However, things get worse than that. Her agency continued to sell tickets for a fan event in January, exploiting her name while she lay in a hospital bed. They were just using her. Then came the chilling message she allegedly sent on December 22nd. "Save me." For days, nobody noticed her cries for help. No updates from her agency, no apology. But it wasn't until photos of him in a wheelchair went viral on December 27th that they responded, and even then their statement was vague. They never mentioned that she had been sick for weeks before this crisis. But the biggest turn of events was that Zhao Lusi's close friend Song Nancy stepped forward. She told a story of which no one had heard. During a break in her schedule in 2019, the Lusi had stayed at Nancy's home in Beijing. On a dark, lonely night, Nancy came back, and Lusi was curled in the dark, visibly shaken. After Nancy had said what happened, to which Lusi then hesitated to reply, and her answer. One of her managers had dragged her into a bathroom and beaten her for 2 hours. He insulted her for being fat, for her career, and every other attribute he believed was under her. When Lusi attempted to leave, the manager ran after her, grabbed her, and slapped. None of the other 5 people there intervened. She considered going to court, but she was paralyzed with fear. She didn't speak because she had no evidence and knew if she did, then she could have ruined her family and her career. But the agency called her mother the next day and didn't apologize. However, they didn't realize they could offer sympathy. Lusi was charged with insubordination. The fallout? It was explosive, pure and simple. As Zhao Lusi's story started to come out, the truth was too obvious. One trusted figure in the industry was now suffering the consequences of his discoveries. And trust me, they were big. He got caught in a swift backlash, and the damage to his reputation was immediate. His credibility? Gone. His professional standing shattered. But what about Zhao Lusi? Public love for her was fierce, and it only got fiercer when the truth emerged. Her fans' voices were loud and just incredibly powerful, rallying behind her and demanding justice for Lusi and for all victims of abuse. Justice for Lusi turned to something more than a hashtag. It turned into a movement. It spread like wildfire, becoming a movement to bring attention to the dangerous power. Dynamics that have always existed in the entertainment industry. The silence in the shadows for the many wasn't just about one woman's struggle. The ones. Too scared to speak out because if they lose everything. It feels like that very. Same storm just passed, but no, it's still just begun. Because here's the truth, countless others stay silent while every one of us speaks out. Wearing their weight because their stories might get twisted into a lie and they are afraid to say the truth. It's not just about one bad manager or one bad celebrity. This is about the power they have over so many. It's the people who don't feel like their voice matters. Even in the world that tries to bury the truth, Zhao Lusi told us, the truth could still come. Swooping through. It wasn't her fame and the number of followers that made her strong. It was her resilience. Even when it was believed that she was mad or didn't have the proof to back it up, she fought back. So, let me ask you this. If your truth is deemed a lie, what would you do? Would you stay silent? Or would you take it off the other's shoulders with you? Or would you do what Zhao Lusi did and stand up for yourself, even if it costs you? And your truth is exactly that, your truth. Perhaps it's time we all started listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and comment.